China's lawfare and information manipulation is highly sophisticated and is aimed at distorting the truth as well as international law. China repeatedly alleges that Tokyo is breaking the 1972 Sino-Japanese Communiqué. Could you help to explain what that communiqué actually says?
Well, what it actually said is that Japan acknowledges, respects, and understands Beijing's position, but it doesn't say it agrees with it. And the Chinese
position on Taiwan.
That's right. And the Chinese carefully ignore that, and they claim the Americans, they do the same thing with the Americans. And most people on the receiving end don't know what is actually said, what the so-called one China policy, one China position is. And that is an effort to really muddy the waters on the part of the Chinese, try to confuse the opponent. But when you actually look at it, Japan has never said that they agree that Taiwan is part of China. And Takaichi said something matter-of-fact, commonsensical.
Why do you think that Japan, Tokyo, has not actually come out and simply said that, so that we only understand and respect your position on Taiwan, but we have not said that we accept and we follow that ourselves?
Well, the Chinese have been very successful with their proxies in Japan. In fact, the politician who asked Takaichi those questions in the Diet, his family has huge business interests in the PRC, and he once got an amphibious exercise canceled by talking to the Prime Minister, and because he didn't want his family business to get hurt. There's a lot of that in Japan, and it does have an effect on Japanese policy.
Titus, a final question. So this is a demonstration of how China's lawfare works. Is it being quite skillful in terms of this incident with Japan?
Yes, and not quite. Lawfare, to my understanding, lawfare works in two ways. It works for domestic ideological consumption, to tell domestic Chinese people Beijing's narrative. It works, on the other hand, on the international dimension, when war really happens and China is triumphant. And that's the moment when China defeats its enemy and they sit down and have a negotiation. That's when Beijing put up its terms according to its own narrative. But we are not there yet. I don't think we will be there. So is it effective? It is effective to persuade its own people. But as to international society, it's not that working. It doesn't work that well. What Beijing is pursuing is trying to align all these different types of one China policies to its one China principle. Until now, it's not working that well.
Michael, do you agree with Titus in terms of the impact on the international audience? I mean, a theme that we have covered in our shows is about essentially the co-option of the international media in terms of China's narrative and propaganda.
Well, as you know, I talk about that a lot. And I think we saw with the new comments that China's been making about how getting Taiwan is something it deserves as part of the post-war order. And this, go back to Dr. Chun's comments, shows how hard the Chinese government is working to legitimate the coming war to its own people. He's like any dictator. He has to find a language that can present its territorial expansion as a redress of grievances or as a completion of recognized legal frameworks. Recently, there were two articles in the New York Times and the Diplomat talking about how this is a new thing, this information campaign. But it's essentially the same information campaign that China has always had. Cairo and Potsdam legitimate the Chinese demand for Taiwan.